Well, companies are talking a lot less about President Donald Trump, at least on their conference calls. So far this quarter, there have been 32 mentions of Trump on S&P 500 calls. That compares to 72 mentions in the same time frame last quarter. What does this mean, if anything? Welcome to Trading Nation. I'm Brian Sullivan. Boris Schlossberg of BK Asset Management, Gina Sanchez with Chantico Global. Boris, does it mean anything, or does it just mean that the election is settled and people are moving on?
I guess on surface it's probably a positive thing. It's kind of like when retail companies stop talking about the weather, because it does suggest that maybe they're just simply focusing on the nuts and bolts of their businesses. But I do think the political question here very much remains front and center, because it's all going to depend on how much agenda Trump is going to be able to pass through, both on the tax side and on the fiscal spend side going forward. Because as it stands right now, I really don't think anything organic within the economy is going to drive earnings forward. So they really do need a push from Trump to make better numbers as they go ahead. So I think you may hear more of him as the next quarters roll around.
Okay, Gina Sanchez, what do you think? Do you think it's just people are just accepting the, quote, weather as it is, or do you think it will pick up back again, the mentions?
Well, I actually do think it will pick up, and for very much what Boris is explaining. Part of the reason that you're not hearing about Trump is that 86% of companies that have reported in this quarter beat earnings, and 75% of them beat their sales estimates. So right now, companies have a lot of positive stuff to talk about, right? You don't really need Trump to kind of explain away anything. However, you have right now, it's a little more than 2-to-1 companies that are revising lower going forward. So I think by the end of the year, when things start to get hard again, I think we're going to start to hear more mentions about Trump and the lack of agenda, et cetera, et cetera. But I think right now, companies are focused on the fact that they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, Brian, I think investors have this enormous amount of expectation for the second half of 2017. Huge part of it contingent upon some sort of magical growth happening at 3% versus 1% as we have now. And a lot of it is really contingent upon a much more stimulatory political fiscal spend from Trump administration. So from that perspective, we're really going to have to wait and see if he can deliver anything on that end.
Gina, you think he will?
Actually, kind of given, especially given today's news, but kind of given the progress that they've made so far, it has been pretty slow, and we haven't really seen progress on the stuff that could be stimulative. We've only seen progress on the stuff that could actually be negative for the economy. So I think going forward, you know, we have to see a lot more progress before we can start to hinge on this sort of magic, you know, stimulus that's going to happen.
Magic 3% bullet. Yeah, although Wilbur Ross did talk that down a little bit. The market, though, perhaps still optimistic. We're going to have to wait and see. Boris and Gina, thank you both very much. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Folks, thank you for watching Trading Nation. I'm Brian Sullivan. We'll see you next time.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.